Friday, January 6, 2017. Gina is pleased to bring you today's edition of the Government News Brief. In the news, the Public Health Ministry is looking forward for continued international support in 2017. The Value-Added Tax VAT 2016 Amendment Bill passed, and residents of numerous communities are enjoying better access with the completion of scores of roads. Stay tuned as we bring you the details of these and other stories. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta Lafleur. Now for the details. The Ministry of Public Health looks forward to continued support from its international counterparts in 2017. Delicia Haynes has the details.
International private voluntary medical teams and donor agencies will soon be able to access more information online. Former Minister of Public Health, Dr. George Norton, says that the process of applying and seeking information before contributing to the local medical system will be made easier as a result.
The International Desk, in an effort to encourage additional foreign aid in 2017, will be creating and launching internet-friendly standard operational procedures, application and reporting forms, and templates for medical mission on its website. We will also be intensifying work with current foreign aid providers.
The new internet-friendly standard operating procedures is expected to create a virtual space for applying for and reporting medical missions by international teams in Guyana. The value of foreign aid received through the International Desk in 2016 was in excess of US $1.3 million. Resources donated include medical equipment, medicines and supplies, and educational material. Additionally, as a result of foreign aid in 2016, healthcare providers such as doctors and nurses were able to receive accredited certificates, graduate and postgraduate training through recognized universities.
Providers of such aids for 2016 were global charities such as the Latter-day Saints Global Charities and the Starkey Hearing Foundation, and the diaspora-led initiatives such as the Guyana Help the Kids charity and the universities such as the University of Calgary in Canada.
More than 10,000 Guyanese countrywide, including persons in riverine communities and outlying areas, benefited from services provided by foreign medical teams. The International Desk at the Ministry of Public Health is responsible for harnessing and facilitating private, non-governmental health-related foreign aid in Guyana. Services include obstetrics, gynecology, cardiovascular screening and follow-up care, family medicine, corneal transplants, cataract screening, and surgeries, as well as treatment for various cancers. For the Government News Brief, I am Delicia Haynes.
The Value-Added Tax VAT system will be made more effective with the passage of the VAT Amendment Bill 2016. Neola Damon tells us more.
Minister of Finance Winston Jordan, who presented the bill to the National Assembly, says it seeks to increase the tax limitation period from 3 to 5 years and increase penalties for offences under the Act. Minister Jordan points out that the bill is very important for an effective VAT system.
VAT in itself is a very important tax for the economy. At the time when it was put in place in 2007, it replaced a number of taxes. It continues to be an extremely important tax, but over time it was losing its importance because of the various measures that were put in place to weaken its base and also lax enforcement.
Opposition Member of Parliament Priya Manachan deems amendments as worrying. Manachan says that not refunding taxes to overseas visitors is ridiculous and advised that the amendment be suspended rather than removed.
Your vision should be that we have this and we allow for this to happen like other countries do, where at the airport you fill out your tax, you drop your bills in a box and you get your refund. So I think if indeed your statements to the nation that you expect because of your great governance, people will come back. To repeal this completely is visionless. I would recommend a suspension of this.
Manachan also criticized the government for preventing persons from traveling out of the country if they owe taxes. She was supported by her colleague, Anil Nanlal, who contends that the freedom to enter and leave Guyana is a fundamental right of every citizen. Minister Jordan, in response to these statements, explained that these amendments are for those persons who are evading taxes.
We are going after all the people, the crooks who owe taxes, and find every legal loophole, and all the high-priced lawyers and all the high-priced lawyers to cover up all these legal loopholes.
The finance minister notes that this act of the government is not to prevent persons from traveling, but to take the nation forward. I'm Neola Damon for this government news brief.
81 road projects were successfully completed in 2016 under the Ministry of Public Infrastructure's Work Services Group's annual program. Zanil Williams tells us more.
Hatfield, Norton and Princess Streets are among 81 roads that the Work Services Group, WSG, successfully carried out works to maintain and develop in 2016. The roads were completed under the unit's 2016 Road Maintenance Program, WSG's coordinator, Geoffrey Vaughan says.
The detailed works performed on roads are as follows: minor rehabilitation of local failures, pothole patching, minor rehabilitation of failures across, road safety maintenance, road marking and signs, cleaning or clearing of existing drains, grading and shaping of road shoulders, and verges.
Vaughan says both corrective and preventive works were done on the roads.
For preventative maintenance, there are about 40 projects that was completed across the city, and those 40 projects approximate to 150 kilometers in length and 914 meters in width in total for the period of 2016. In terms of our corrective maintenance works, we would have completed 31 roads which approximate to 1,000 meters in length and 400 meters in width in total for the period of 2016.
The WSG was able to exceed its 2016 target with the construction and rehabilitation of roads in regions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10 under the Miscellaneous and Urban Roads Program, Vaughan says.
The ministry was able to surpass the 31 roads that we have programmed for, and we would have been able to construct 148 roads in 2016. In terms of length and kilometers, the ministry was able to complete 57 kilometers of road in terms of the calculation. They were asphalted concrete, reinforced concrete roads, crusher run roads to the crusher run level, which would move towards asphalted after.
Under the miscellaneous program, $665 million was spent for the upgrading of roads in 2016. For the urban roads program, approximately $386 million was spent. I am Zanil Williams for the Government News Brief.
Program heads from the various departments of the Education Ministry met to lay out their work plans for 2017. The meeting allowed the Education Ministers the opportunity to ensure the sector is heading in the right direction. Find out more in this Isaiah Braithwaite report.
So for the meeting, which came to a close today, allowed the collaboration and cooperation among cross-cutting units within the ministry. Minister within the Ministry of Education, Nicholas Henry, says that the meeting served to ensure better performance of the various units.
I think that we'll be able to keep a better handle on where we are as a ministry in terms of performance, in terms of ensuring that there's also smart thinking in the ministry, and smart in the sense of being very specific with what we do, ensuring that what we do can be measured, also that it is achievable.
Minister Henry says the work plans must also be realistic in the context of the Education Ministry and the country. Additionally, Minister Henry points out that during the meeting, most of the work plans presented did not reflect green activities.
I particularly mentioned that I need to see a deliberate effort on the part of program heads to include in their work plan activities related towards moving to this green state, because it is only through the work that you do and the activities that you carry out that you can really achieve it, and so that needs to be demonstrated in the work plans. And I think that's not a big tweak. That is something that can be done, because a lot of them are thinking it, but they haven't pretty much articulated it in the work plan.
All the work plans, according to the ministry, must be finalized by the end of January. The Education Ministry was allocated $43.1 billion to carry out its mandate, improve education delivery and quality. Isaiah Braithwaite for the Government News Brief.
Companies seeking to import wind turbines, solar systems, or recycling equipment will be granted tax concessions with the passage of the Income Tax Amendment Bill. More in this report from Paul McAdam.
Government introduced and passed an amendment income tax in aid of industry bill in the National Assembly last evening. This is part of the push to move Guyana along the path to a green economy. Laid before the House by Finance Minister Winston Jordan, the amended bill is described as a necessary step towards reducing this country's carbon footprint.
What is here is available to every soul who is willing to take up these incentives. These incentives to help Guyana push its green growth agenda. So it is not with the intention of any individual or any firm or anyone. They will all come, they will look at the incentive, they will say whether it's good enough for them. They will come and they will sign investment development agreements, and they will get involved in providing wastewater resources, in providing recycling, in providing even the Puran brothers, the Sivans, waste people, all of them can move towards waste disposal, setting up recycling facilities, and so forth.
The bill is aimed at permitting the Finance Minister the power to grant corporate tax concessions to companies seeking to import sustainable energy equipment. These include wind turbines, solar power systems, and recycling equipment. Rising to voice his opinion of the bill, Opposition Member of Parliament Nigel Damrell said he supported the efforts being made, but he questioned whether they were designed to cater for special interest groups.
I think that the benefits will not redound to the benefit of the citizens of this country. I would therefore, Mr. Speaker, like an explanation from the Honourable Minister and from GRA on how the benefits will be quantified and how they will be passed on quantitatively to our citizens, especially in the areas where these investments are going to be executed. What we have before us, Mr. Speaker, is in effect another burden on our taxpayers.
The Finance Minister in response says that this legislation is just a start, and as Guyana develops, further revisions can be made. He describes the bill as a very simple one.
This is a simple bill with 3 simple clauses that seeks to exempt companies, not individuals. Individuals are already benefiting from duty-free import of these solar and wind equipment. If they want to benefit additionally from a corporation tax, then it's clear they obviously have to go form themselves into a company, incorporate themselves to make certain that they benefit now from this tax holiday. Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to this House for passage.
Paul McAdam reporting for the Government News Brief.
Citizens will continue to benefit from high-standard services as 10 laboratories have been certified. Gabreila Patram reports.
8 medical laboratories and 2 non-medical ones were certified in keeping with the National Laboratory Standard GYS 170, which is a general requirement for the operation of a laboratory. This standard allows labs to develop a comprehensive management system which will enable them to issue accurate, reliable, and consistent test results. Public Relations Officer of the GNBS, Lloyd David, lists the labs that have been certified.
As I mentioned, there are 10 laboratories. The Georgetown Hospital Laboratory is one, the Balwant Singh Hospital is another, and this is the list of medical laboratories. Woodland Hospital Laboratory, Eureka Medical Laboratory, St. Joseph Hospital Laboratory, Georgetown Medical Center Laboratory, and Quest Medical Laboratory. Those are the medical. And the non-medical are Kaizen Environmental Services, which is an environmental lab that deals with testing of environmental matters, and also the Guyana Rice Development Board Laboratory. They are conforming to the GYS 170 standard.
Their certification allowed the labs to determine whether they are performing their work correctly and to the appropriate standards.
When the GNBS certifies a lab, we must make this clear. It does not stop there. We routinely visit the laboratories unannounced, and we conduct audits. We audit the system to ensure that they are maintaining the requirements. Of course, labs that fail to maintain the requirements, they are warned, they're given non-conformity report, and they need to conform. If they do not conform, we will withdraw our certification from the laboratory, so they know what is required.
David adds that the labs can further be accredited to international standards. He also used the opportunity to encourage more labs to become certified.
They are quite a few laboratories that have not gotten on board with the GMBS laboratory certification program. And the GMBS would want to use this opportunity to encourage them to come on board and get certified. It will be, I'm not saying that it will be an easy task. It will be a little challenging task, but as long as you achieve certification, things become easily and orderly and so forth. So the GNBS would certainly want to encourage those laboratories that have not been certified as yet to become certified so that the general public can benefit from the quality service that you provide.
For the Government News Brief, I'm Gabreila Patram.
We have come to the end of today's edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on GINA's website. GINA has an active Facebook page, and we encourage you to visit and like us so you can be informed as the news unfolds. You can also visit our website and YouTube channel. Do join us again on Monday when the Government Information Agency brings you another edition of the Government News Brief. Until then, I am Renetta LaFleur. Thank you for watching.